Alright guys, welcome back to Path of the Salmon map editing time. I have been working some time with terrain and some quest related systems and some weather and like zone defining systems, or how I would say that I have been reworking those systems, uh, because I had a long time I had these very old style systems, and I wanted to make them uh, more custom, and for example for the weather system it has this seasonal weather thing going on, and then there are these uh, per zone weathers and stuff like that. And previously it was like a global weather system, and of course that doesn't work so well because I think I want to have some kind of like a uh, aesthetics or illusion of different zones. And of course, when you have these dungeons and stuff, we don't want these to have global weather or uh, and we want to define different weather for zones like these volcanic places. But yeah, that's about weather. This I was just thinking that this video could be about me terraining and doing these mini dungeon places. You can see some units there and some shit happening. It's basically my drafting ideas. Uh, First thing I have to say that I have this Firelands dungeon area that was quite large in my original setup. It was uh, going all the way here, this corner, and this corner. And I was thinking that I want to have these uh, mini dungeon. How do you say it? Like a sub caves. Because what I currently or previously had, there are these dungeons, but I think I wanted to have more like these interior mini interior places. So I started crafting these kind of things. And of course these units are placeholders. I have some ideas about how I can use these. But yeah, I was also thinking that instead of making all the interior places like for one thing only, I think they could have multi-purposes. Well, not this cellar, but like these caves. This could fulfill purpose of many different caves, and we could just swap the destructibles and do that, or units, whatever, loot, you know. But yeah, originally this fire and stuff, this was going to be a quite huge area. It's, as you can see, it's very rough state, as many things are in the Path of the Shaman. I have many donuts just laying there to find place and maybe some idea drafting that should I use this or this one, or this rock or this rock, you know. This, I think, some background information for Firelands. I think this is just my. I haven't played. Well, I think I played Cataclysm back in the day, but I never did Firelands raid. But I have some like inspiration from vanilla World of Warcraft, Molten Core. Some kind of inspiration from there. But I was thinking that I want to make the Firelands be this fiery plane of existence, and we'll go to this place to at least if we want to summon fire elemental, we would have a quest that will take us here, and some quest objectives that has to be done here, and maybe not related to that quest. I am going to have Ragnaros appear somehow here, but I was thinking about that instead of it being like a boss that we kill and get loot, I think it's from the story or the game perspective, it's kind of like I think Ragnar shouldn't be killed. Instead, I think we should have some fights going on here, and maybe killing this core hound will trigger the Ragnaros to come out and be pissed like hell. And then we would have to different kind of challenges, escaping Ragnaros' wrath and trying to go back to the portal where we get back to the Azeroth, and something like that. But that's still on my to-do list of hundreds of millions of to-dos. Just some thoughts about what if we fail here? What if Ragnaros kills us, or the challenges that he brings? What if we die here? That's obviously a failure, but this map doesn't have like this defeat condition that we will fail the map. Instead, we have these graveyards and our heroes are revived, but maybe here would be like a special case that instead of, for example, if we die to Ragnar's, then we won't be revived to any graveyard, but instead I think we will just start over the challenge of retreating Ragnaros. But yeah, these waterfalls, whatever. I tried to bring this illusion that we are in the middle of the Firelands, but I think this still needs a bit of work because it kind of looks spammy, if you know what I mean. But it may look different in game when we have all kind of environmental fog settings and, you know, daylight models and stuff. But maybe some kind of variation could be done, like moving this to the more, you know, this already makes it a lot better. Maybe scale that like that. And now we have more, like, how do you say it, like a dimensionality. Maybe like this. But yeah, I got a hangover from editing this place already, so I just continue with the mini zones. It may or may not be boring to look at, but as always, I'm going to discuss shit about the Path of a Shaman overall, and yeah, what was I going to do? I had something in mind. Oh yeah, I had to play some invisible ramps. Hold on. Yep. Yeps. Use that one. I've taken these models from World of Warcraft, obviously. With some editing to remove the ceiling, so we can have like this kind of perspective. Maybe, just maybe, but it needs lots of testing. But maybe it can be like a multiple camera setups. I think top view will be used, but then we will have like a cinematic dialogue setup that we will enter like this kind of setup. But yeah, I think mostly this will be cinematic, not lots of things going on here. Maybe some vendors and whatever, depending on the game situation where the player is. This might be used, multi-purpose used, or I could have it. I have this human location that is also work in progress. Work in progress. Yeah, but we could enter some building, maybe like from here example, and then we would enter the tavern. Or we could have we could have enter from here. I think it would be much better to multi-purpose use. Of course, we need to have this more modular system that enables us to create such a way, and so it doesn't look like repetitive. How do you say it? Repetitive. I've been playing recently, Witcher 3, and while I very much liked The Witcher 3, I had some ideas maybe from there and refreshing to play, because I haven't played any game for a long time. If I have been like doing some game related, it has been Path of the Shaman map. So it has been refreshing. But what I noticed what I disliked the most is that The Witcher 3 was very repetitive in many ways. Like the NPCs were looking very similar. You had like for example, this random traveling merchants or some merchants around the city, and it looked like there has been like a 2 or 3 unit models from their max. So I didn't like that, aspect because I like uniqueness. I like that that place or and that unit that it's not the same, you know. And when I bring that idea to Path of the Shaman map, where I try to avoid being reusing stuff, but to reuse the stuff so that there is this feeling that this place is unique and this place is unique. I want I very much like that, but what that also brings is huge lots of work, obviously. So I can see the point why Witcher 3 has multi-purposed a lot of things, and many other games as well. When you think about World of Warcraft, it's every zone is basically I don't know if I make someone mad, but it's very repetitive. But I don't know if someone can say I have played huge lots of time vanilla World of Warcraft, not the classic one, but the original Vanilla WoW, and sometime I played on private servers. And I liked it. I don't know why. Maybe the feeling and the guilds and raids and friend discussions, late night discussions, and the social aspect. It's so funny when you think about classic or vanilla World of Warcraft that it's very grindy and maybe nerdy and stuff like that, but at the same time it's social. So it's kind of weird. And if I go quiet, I have this thing that I tend to stop doing whatever I'm doing if I discuss something or I will make a mistake. So maybe just continue doing this and we can stop at some point to discuss some aspects from the map or anything. Anything really. Lately Blizzard added this quite neat function to preserve copied object height. You notice that this is that kind of height, and I can easily copy paste. So this makes life a lot easier, especially when I have these kind of objects. I can demonstrate that makes this many times slower than normal map editing. For example, if I want to have some barrels here, now what do you think what happens if I want to remove them or change their location or whatever? Yeah, I can't. I can't anymore because this interior object is the main object here, and the editor is kind of like this object's normals or extents or whatever, collision box, something like that, makes it overlap with these. So what I have to do is pretty much have a good idea what I'm going to do and with this place and with what donuts I'm going to place there, because it will be a pain in the ass to re-edit later. So what I can do is I can do like this kind of yeah, some other objects with the overlapping boxes. Fuck's sake. But yeah, as you can see, it's not so. I can do like this kind of thing if I want to remove these pattern blockers, and then I can shift click this object, which I don't want to be removed, and then I can with Control X or delete remove those. But the more you place in the center, it's going to be harder to remove, and maybe with like these, and then I can also delete stuff. But yeah, it's not very practical. But I think for now this place has pattern blockers and some ramps stuff going on. It's okay for now, and we have the fireplace going on there, and I think we can just move to another place, another interior editing. This one is also quite fine. If you wonder about these black walls, I've been trying to make to not show these edges and whatever, but it might be pointless depending on what our camera setup will be. If our camera setup is like this, it won't matter those black walls, but if the camera setup is like this, of course it matters. Otherwise it will look weird and glitched. Oh yeah, I forgot. Why are these? Talk about ADD. Ah, oh, that's right. Yeah. I was just thinking about, because I created these visual blockers to make this black area without using the boundary stuff. I have this trouble if you no clip like this, that there are these kind of you will see the terrain underneath the black, so I had to create some. But these are different. I have to change these. I also already placed these pretty nicely, so I don't want to just use the model I used for the visual black. Uh, sorry. Visual blocker black. It's using that. Did I mess up? Kind of weird. Black. Yeah, I think it's fine. Now if I lift, yeah, that's right. This is what I was talking about. Now I can have. Just need to. Talk about boring ass editing. Talk about editing that no one will notice. Maybe. I'm a perfectionist without being without being one. Oh fuck. That doesn't look. No. Maybe. Is there anyone still that plays Warcraft 3? I really don't follow that much news or what's the current situation. Although I am in Hive Workshop Discord and actively go read the Hive Workshop forums and stuff, but well, active and active. But I like to think about, even though this map is a long ass project that has history of many years, I am even embarrassed to say that I started doing this map in maybe 2008, and how many years ago that is. I was then a pretty noob what comes to creating a map and all the things that relate to that stuff. For example, I didn't know shit about triggering, and there are still some legacy triggers, like a leftover triggers from that era. Basically, the map size was half or 4 times smaller, but the layout is still the same from the leftover map. For example, this arena area has always been here since 2008. And these Murloc areas, this has remained quite untouched from that time. Ignore this goblin building. I have some idea to make this, remove these Murlocs and have some goblins here that have some problem as always, that need to kill or do something. Or maybe we could have some quest that these orcs have problems with those goblins and these goblins have some problem with the orcs. Vice versa. And you may decide which one you help. Just some idea. I haven't think about it that. Just like put a draft idea here. And now you can see why this map has been in development since 2008. Ideas that change and drift. But yeah, that's the way it is. We're talking about huge ass RPG map with shit ton of quests and shit ton of story element, and we have over 20 zones and more. We're going to have almost 20 or between 10 dungeons and or interior subzones, and you know, it's a huge system. That's what I keep talking to myself. I mean, come on. Will it crash? I hope not. Okay, it's starting to lag quite a bit. You know, things like this wouldn't have been possible back in the day. It would have been laggy as hell. And some of you may wonder, why continue doing this same map from 2008 or whatever you said, if you have the constant need to change things? I don't know. Think of this like a artwork or painting or stuff that, of course, there's some kind of like a emotion to this map. Otherwise I wouldn't be doing this, and it's a passion project. Here is the original starting area where we start as our player. The map border was here. There was nothing because the map was 108 or 256 times 256. So it was many times smaller map, but now it's repurposed that area. Now we start here where we have our player heroes. Home or something like that. Where were we? We were editing this. Ah, yeah, that's boring as black box thing. Oh, some things are so nice to create, but I can say that there are many things that feel like work, and that's also why I have many things that are in unfinished state, because I tend to do like this, that I have this idea and I'm going to execute it, and all these description and requirements that I've written to how I will execute it and make, and like a software development plan or requirements management style thing, but at some point I get tired, I get this exhausting feeling that okay, maybe this is starting to feel more like work than hobby and passion. And that's the point where if I keep continuing doing that I will get exhausted and I will return maybe after 2 weeks. You know. But if I switch to doing something other thing, like this interior thing, compared to what I have been doing this recent time, making very modular and highly difficult system, quest related systems and dialogue, and 2,600 lines of code, 1,800 lines of code, dialogue system. This is much smaller. No, wait. 2,700 lines of code, and then we have each. This is per quest giver. This one is for Aradian, the Farseer, who is here. Elven quest giver. So this Aradian uses all these systems: quest giver, quest master, dialogue system. I think, yeah, as I was saying, this is work in progress, and I written all these concepts for the systems and how the dialogue systems would work, and you know, it just keeps going and going and going. It's the way Warcraft 3 is, or any system, basically this with this size and requirements is, as you do it yourself, there's so many things that it can be some very minor function that keeps fucking up with you, and then you're like thinking, what is the reason? What is the cause? Why does this work like this? I want it to work like this, not like this. And then it can be this whole day troubleshooting of that thing. You know, sometimes. And sometimes you'll just go like, oh, very nice, very nice, very nice. I'm all this work, and so that's why I've been only having this one quest giver of this new system. Of course, I have for quest givers, I had many GUI triggers. Where are they? Huh. What? Here. So here I have quests and old dialog system buttons and global variables, and you know, it's shit. I don't like it, and well, the question is why I don't like it. I don't like it because the way the quests are previously were done. For example, Aradia. Look at this, the amount of GUI triggers. It's fucking endless and so slow. I even don't want to say how many GUI triggers I have in this map, but it's thousands of GUI triggers, 6,000 or 7,000, maybe something like that. And I was... do I have... These are not enabled now because it's using this new library, which is much easier on the game engine and on the map loading and stuff, and much faster to edit if it works, when it works properly. But for example, there can be like these turn off trigger, enable trigger, run trigger, GUI trigger functions, and I reach a certain point that when I click this, notice how long this takes. Fucking forever. So, still haven't loaded it. No. So, if I want to select some trigger, like turn off trigger, turn on trigger, you know, whatever. Each time I press this button to select the trigger, it will take 15 or more seconds. So obviously that doesn't make any sense because the map editing is already time consuming. So why have the artificial delay and waiting time? But this, we can see here how many GUI triggers. Any. So, and at some point I started to use custom scripts to turn off the triggers, and of course that requires you to manually enter the trigger name in string format. And while that is much faster, it doesn't take any time. It's bound to errors if you misspelled the GUI trigger name, and you know, it will fall apart, or it will take you time troubleshooting, or if the trigger name is changed, then you also have to rename the custom script calling that trigger. So that was the point when I said that's enough, I will make new system based on my old GUI trigger system, but make it better and make it more flexible and modular and have the dialogue system in there and And now what has been done for this modular new quest system, dialogue system, I did the first quest giver for this Radion to make sure that when I do the library for other quest givers or other dialogue system units, so I want it to be very flexible and modular, so I can reuse this subsystem library. But there are still quite many things that could be make more generic functions, so that we only define here the quest names or quest objective descriptions and maybe the quest items, and like here we have defined. But if you look at this global variables in this library, we can see here that there might be some variables or functions that could be make in the quest master or quest giver, the main library, handling all the quest related stuff. And so that work is still in progress. Because I want to reach a point that I can easily make these sub libraries for any quest giver without the progress being so manual. If we compare this old system, how I did the dialogue system and quests and events per quest giver, you can see that first of all it requires many global variables, and this is per quest giver. You can have even more here, and obviously that is waste of variable space, or I don't know, maybe some wiser guy can say that it doesn't matter anymore in 2026, but from my perspective it doesn't make sense to create generic variables multiple times, especially if we have like 100 quest givers. You can get some perspective here. Think about creating these hundreds of times, this folder structure, and we have to manually edit many things here in these GUI triggers. Like here we select the unit, triggering unit equal to a radian distance. This also is leaking position of radian, position of not. We have 2 leaks here. That's already shit. And this one we could have like we have in the new library. We could have this one be a global or generic event that every quest giver uses. But now we have this in each unique quest giver GUI trigger. What a fucking sentence. So yeah. So to make conclusion, there's so much manual work in this, and this old system stuff. And I want to avoid that, because that also makes underlying bugs and errors, and we have like remove locations here, and which we could easily have left over when we copy paste for new quest giver, that we are removing point from previous quest giver's point, or we are doing some stuff that will overlap with other triggers, you know. And then because these are using like some cinematic mover and cinematic whatever dialogue camera setups that are already in Jazz format and Jazz libraries, and I'm using my own custom sound system that utilizes external sound files to make the map size file much smaller, to not make it work basically. So it's already using some amount of Jazz. So yeah, obvious choice to make it Jazz library. Okay. This mini cave, I'm not sure if this can cause some issues. Maybe we have to relocate these firewalls a bit closer to the Firelands, because the camera will be like this. Maybe like this. What if we have the camera like this? Then we don't have problem. But the Warcraft 3 mouse setup is kind of weird. If we have the camera like this, we may end up pressing these cliffs back here, even though they are not in the screen. So that may be issue. Let's see if we can use these. Let's put some nice values here. Control Shift Z. I'm not going to place them perfectly yet, because I just want to see if we can get this to look decent. You know. Can we see the fire? Or the red visual blockers? Or these are not visual. Basically, these red blocks. They are kind of like a visual blockers, but at the same time, they enhance the fire. If we had the black, oh, maybe I have to draw that line back. But yeah, it could look worse. Yeah, of course. We could have removed just that and make black here. That could also work. Or we can overlap. Either way, I think it's going to be fine. Now we just need like this level of zoom and If you go to far corner, need to check. That's totally fine. No, yeah, we don't need to relocate anything. Just need careful visual black bars. Yeah. This we can make much bigger size. No, we can't. It would be much easier if I could just have a pencil and draw some lines here and there. Now it's just some blocky stuff. Oh my god. Ah. Well, that looks like shit. So awfully blocky. Maybe we can just maybe do like just like this. Maybe. Which way it turns? Wrong direction. if this is the first time you look video of someone creating a map, yeah, it can be sometimes it's just like I said previously. It almost resembles like work. But if you end up thinking like that all the time, it will definitely cause you a burnout. Even though that might sound funny to some, but maybe someone can relate to that. But at least now for me, I think because I have progressed so much, there's so much good stuff in the map. Although many not like in working state, the idea is there and just need some testing and testing and testing. And then some fixing and testing again. So if you ever check some game, some for example like The Witcher 3 that I was speaking about. There are so much people and still the game or any game like Cyberpunk or any still they took many years to complete. Yeah, no, it's not comparable with just Warcraft 3 map. But when you think about, I'm making myself sound like a bitter old guy, but yeah, that's probably what I am. But if you think that I have intent to make fully voice-lined everything from smaller NPCs to quest givers and story aspects and many hundreds of cinematics probably end up in the final version and all these kind of travel systems and leveling and inventory equipment system and attachment and custom stats and all this stuff combined, it's bound to have of course issues and balancing stuff. And well, balancing I haven't really, at some point I realized that balancing is not something that I should be really considering too much at this stage, because if I try to balance stuff now, then some other thing may break the balance, and so That's things when almost everything else is ready. Of course, I have been like when there's a, uh, for example, this Sirena Clade is from, I think it's from 1 to 10 levels range. Of course, 1 level units should drop very poor level items and should be equally matched with player and but not too hard. And of course, level 10 unit should be feel like a fucking raid boss to player. At least if the player doesn't have proper equipment or hired units or whatever companions. At level 30 boss should instantly kill you if you are level 1. So of course that kind of balancing I've been trying to do, but that also depends on the items, on my hero, what abilities I have, and what abilities, how powerful the abilities will be at level 30, and you can clearly see if I have like a half-made wolf summon with healing and melee abilities and range abilities and summon elementals, and there's so many balancing to do, and if I try to balance it perfectly now, it won't happen simply. It's impossible. And that's why you can see for many games, you know, the bigger games, you will see that most patch changes relate to those balancing improvements. Why the fuck is so difficult corner here? Just make it smaller. Yeah. Oh my god. Fucking corner. Sometimes it's just annoying shit. But if this would be like a annoying and feeling like a job, I wouldn't be doing this. It's a passion. Well, maybe also something else, but I think the pivot point could have been much better, but for these blocks, but it is what it is. fuck? Why is this cave so goddamn multi-shape? I can most definitely say that someone will say that why not use boundaries? Well, the problem with boundaries is that it will still be somewhat visible. It's not totally black. Where do we have boundaries? It looks like this. Compare. And if we compare this, what we want is this true black. So that's what we want. This is my testing area that's always subject to change, and there's some mining testing and whatever testing, shield defense testing and some portals. I don't remember, but someone at Hive Workshop made very nice. Of course I had to import those. Some goblins. I don't know why, but the classic goblin is just classic. I mean, look at it. Yeah. Yeah. Losing my focus again. That can be like that. Maybe here some smaller blocks. Oh my god. It's not perfect, but starting to look much perfect. One thing I have to say that many times I have been thinking that there must be a better way to do this. Most of the time there is a better way to do it, whatever you're doing. But then you end up doing something, and I mean, the whole Warcraft 3 is, I mean, the world editor's strength lies in that you can pretty much think about any solution and I think that's what makes this so great to work with. There are many. I have heard that StarCraft 2 editor is better and stuff like that. I haven't. I don't really. I have never really played StarCraft, nor have I used the StarCraft 2 editor, but so I can't really say. But Warcraft 3 editor is, it's just simply so powerful. At least for these hobby guys. And of course for the more veteran guys as well. I mean the stuff that people have end up doing back in the day or still nowadays can come up with. It's so inspiring. No other, well, I can't really say that no other, but it's just something that I haven't seen in any game field. This can be issue. If we add the black boars, we'll definitely see them here. We might need to add some mountain rocks. Maybe just use the smaller barriers here. Let's make it smaller. Like that. Maybe that size and just a little like that. Started to wonder why I even make these this fucking long ass. So might end up doing some shift clicking and reducing the size. Okay. From one cave to the next, another one. Bites the dust. Sorry, I had to do it. Like that. What a fucking pervert sound. Say like that. Oops. Just had to say that if you end up doing shit like that you start to import stuff from World of Warcraft, you have already passed the limit of doing it very custom way. I mean, removing the roofs and stuff. So it's already very non-standard work for at least what? At least for Warcraft 3. Well, nowadays people now import World of Warcraft models. I think it's allowed nowadays on Hive Workshop, but back in the day it was not allowed. I don't see any issue with using WoW models, but of course when doing custom map like this, you want to have some like a new stuff. I mean, people who have been playing like a private World of Warcraft servers can relate to this, but you don't want the map to feel like a cityfied World of Warcraft, you know, like many like many many private servers, they had this like a way of doing things that there was like these item vendors and you would buy the gear from them, and there may have been some custom currencies and you know the oh fuck I don't even want to remember but those leveling roads, it feels so cityfied. Like, what's the fucking purpose? I mean, you had like level 2 Dark Trolls, and then you have like Dark Troll Berserkers, and you know, up to whatever the max level was. Like, what's the point? I never understood the point. If someone can say, please comment. But I never understood the point because okay, maybe the point is to get the max level fast. Okay, why even do the leveling road in the first place? Why not start at max level? Immediately do buggy dungeons and raids, and that's it. If that's the purpose. But my what I have enjoyed in World of Warcraft is not the end content. It's a journey. I always, when I reach the max level and after I have maybe from Vanilla Wolf reached the beast gear and something like that to start raiding, and at that point the magic is gone. When the raids start, I think that's the first time that okay, it's ended. It's always the journey. Usually has been when leveling characters, it's the best. But leveling the characters on a leveling road, or how do you say it? It's just so shitty. I don't see the point or the value of it. Maybe someone can enlighten me, but sorry, I don't understand the point. But I think that just can be me. What happened? making corners like a goddamn pro. And turning angles like a goddamn pro. Oh my god. What is it clipping? It's that other one. Other one that is clipping. Not that one. Not that one. Ah. Okay, that one is clipping. Not anymore. But not that one. That one. Like so. Have to match those angles. And fuck them up. Real nice. One, two, three. Oh my god. What the fuck? Okay, it's easier than it looks. You can't see the... Can't really see the... Too much. Uh-huh. Okay. Why did I start doing this? I can't really understand myself. But you said that you enjoy this. Yeah, it's so fun. So, why do it? Because we need to. It's necessary. Sometimes it's not all fun and games. Sometimes, instead of creating the legendary loot, you have to first create the place where you get the legendary loot. God damn, that sounded like some higher level stuff. Unsubscribe. If you end up watching, oh my god, if you end up watching more of my stuff and how I behave or talk, you begin to see that I'm totally normal, not normal. Well, is any of us normal? Again, boom, some higher level philosophy from there. And next question, what is normal? Is it normal? Is it normal to watch TV all the time, or is it normal to work? Is it normal to anything? What's the normal? So that's the question. I mean, guys, if you like so little time to spend here in this spinning ball of dust, do spend the time doing whatever you like. Use your free will. I think we can. Yeah, now I know what I will do with this channel. I will end up telling some higher level philosophy thinking. And then we can all discuss the greater meaning. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. Oh, fuck, that's ugly. Ugly as shit. I was just thinking out loud that you're just watching me spinning some black bars. Think about that for a second. We spend our time how we like, and that's a nice use of free will. But this is just something that I need to do in this map for these places. We can later do something much funner stuff. But I can most definitely say that many of the stuff that relate to mapping, they are by their nature bit boring to watch, unfortunately, but that's where I think the discussions have their little place. It's kind of fun to discuss stuff, even though this is kind of my self-discussion at the moment, but of course I appreciate that if you have anything to comment or speak. I will definitely answer to you. If you say please. Okay. Okay, too far. You went too far this time, Mr. Valdemar. You are. Weird as shit. I know. Okay. Let's not do that. It's weird and weird. What is that? Okay, I will continue this work. It's slow, but it's progressing. And some more work here. As you can see, it's going to have pattern blockers, and then we need some. This is some background. This is some Dragon Boss lair, wormhole sanctum, as I call it. We can just add some lava here and there to make it work. Because what is this? Okay, but thanks for watching. If you were watching this to this point, and come back next time when we do some mapping work.